Township Committee, December 4th, 2017. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Star Ledger, the Independent, and the Tribune Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building, and filing with the Township Clerk on January 5th, 2017. Committeeman Fiore.
Here.
Committeeman Perry.
Here.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Here. Mayor Sharpenberger.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor our troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. Our first item on tonight's agenda. Our first item on tonight's agenda, we're going to pull out resolution 17-283, a resolution appointing and setting salary for the assessor.
Move for adoption?
Second. Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Yes. Mayor Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt resolution 17-283. At this time, I'd like to invite Alex Ward to please come forward.
Okay. Anybody here who can hold the Bible? Okay. All right. And I just want to point out, never has anyone been so aptly named for a particular position. And raise your right hand. I, Alex J. Worth, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and I do swear to faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of tax assessor according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
By the way, to start.
Disappearing and use the disappearing.
Okay. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Have a good night.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a public hearing of proposed ordinance 2017-3212, an ordinance amending Chapter 341-10 of the Township Code governing enforcement of nuisance penalties.
Are there any members of the public who would like to speak to ordinance number 2017-3212?
Sir.
Hi, my name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive, and I was just wondering who the enforcing official will be now. Does anybody know?
It depends on the violation, which is why this change is
Oh,
being
so it'll be
made.
like department heads?
So
or-
it could be, well, it could be construction official, it could be code official, depends on what the issue is specifically, and that's why this change was made, because the word, we just change it from construction to enforcing official, because it depends on the category of violation as to who the enforcement official is.
Right.
So if it's like a health code violation, it'd be the health
Health
officer. If it's construction official, it'd be the construction official, so this way, whomever the official is for that nuisance violation, that they would be able to impose a penalty under the township code.
Okay, so I was wondering, you know, if somebody calls in with a potential problem, who, would they call you?
Well, it depends
Or-
how it comes in.
Who-
Sometimes people know directly the office to call. Some people submit comments or complaints on our online system. And that way, we all kind of get it, and then it gets directed to the right person. So
Okay.
it really depends. They come in lots of different ways.
Right.
I think most people usually know who to call. So if it's a health violation, if it's tall grass or something like that, they know to call the health department. And if
Well, I would
somebody's
call
starting to
Public
build-
Works for that, because they cut the grass.
No, that's usually health code.
Right, see, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls about that. Usually
Yeah.
people call health department, but sometimes they call the wrong place and they just get routed to the right person.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other members of the public who would like to speak to ordinance number 2017-3212? Okay, seeing no further members of the public come forward, move to close the public portion and move for adoption.
Second. Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Yes. Mayor Sharpenberg.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second reading. At this time, we have introduction of ordinance 2017-3213, an ordinance setting rates for additional solid waste and recycling parts.
Okay, move for introduction.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Yes. Mayor Sharpenberg.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first hearing with a public hearing to be held December 18, 2017. Okay. And next item on tonight's agenda, we have Resolution 17-278, a resolution authorizing a Chapter 159 additional item of funding in the 2017 budget, Bay Shore Saturation PWI enforcement grant.
Move for adoption.
Second. Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Mayor Sharpenberg.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this resolution. Now do consent. Okay. At this time, the Township Committee would like to do a consent agenda. If we approve resolutions 17-279 through 17-284, including bingo and raffle applications and firefighter application, removing 17-283.
Okay, move for adoption.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Yes. Mayor Sharpenberg.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the consent agenda. At this time, we have the regular meeting agenda items for December 18, 2017, which will include certificates of appreciation and proclamations, approval of minutes, a public hearing proposed ordinance, and there will be no introduction. Discussion items for tonight, we have the 2018 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan.
Anything else?
There's nothing out of the ordinary. We're just going to continue our residential rehabilitation construction program. We have a little less money than we've gotten in prior years, so we can't really do any other projects besides that.
Right, and that's just the federal portion, right?
Yeah.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
You'd be
He'd be thrilled.
ways.
Oh, he'd be more thrilled,
He'd be
yeah.
happy with this.
That's right, he didn't want any of it.
That's right.
They're finally coming to their senses.
That's what he was saying.
Yes. And then we have the next request online records request system.
I don't know, Brian, have you taken a look at this?
I have not had an opportunity to look at the, specifically how it works yet, but I would want to look into that to just see how we, putting records online and make sure there's no, private personal information, things like that, social security numbers, things of that nature. But we can,
I'm sorry, Brian.
no, that would be my concern.
Is there anybody else in the state that's doing this?
No.
So the state approved it for us to be able to do it for the first one.
There would be no state approval.
So I'm confused.
I don't know. I'm confused.
It
What is the
deals
question?
with, it deals with Oprah, correct?
Yes.
So we'd be the first one, but there's no oversight, is there like, it's more or less than,
Was it a vendor that the town hires, or is it an open source?
Would you like me to tell you what it
It's
is?
an open
Yeah.
source
Oh, yeah,
system.
absolutely.
Give me a second, I still
Sure.
not gonna make a decision on it until I get a review, but, yeah.
No, essentially what it is, currently, the way the office tracks Oprah requests is by using a very primitive spreadsheet that I designed back in 2003. So what we do is we assign numbers to the Oprah requests that come in, and my office tracks them through the entire township. And we go back and forth with the different departments, and we get the records emailed back to us. And because of the growth of the open public records requests that we've had over the years, it's becoming very difficult to track through the email system. So basically, at this point, what we did was we looked into some systems that are out there currently that allow you to track the records requests through the town and how we respond to them. And essentially what this one does, it allows us to have the requester, we'll steer them to the website to make it more efficient. And what they would be doing there is just filling out the online form, requesting whatever records they're looking for, like they would today. It would just be an online form versus, it would be an online form that inputs into a database versus just an online form that gets emailed to me and two other members of my staff. So at this point, once the request comes in, it notifies my department and we route it to the departments where it applies to, just as if we were today. Only not through email. It goes through a web-based system. So essentially what the departments do is when they fill the request, they upload the record to the system, and then we get notified that the records are available to us now.
Then we go through the same process like before the Brian.
Yeah. Then what happens is,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, so let's say a department produces 100 pages of some record that
Right.
requires review and redaction.
exactly. So what we've been doing over the past month is testing the system. The only part that we haven't initiated would be the public interaction. So at this point, what we do is when we receive the records, we forward them on to you, if necessary. Otherwise,
Yeah,
like we always
so basically,
would. Right, so if we find that the request is necessary to be reviewed by the township attorney, we forward the records over to the township attorney. Minus that step would be then, you would have access to the system and you'd be notified when records come to you. It has an online redaction tool if you chose to use it, otherwise you could print to, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Which
but-
is usually what happens,
Right.
because the
Redaction-
online redaction
Right.
tools are
Well,
kind of difficult.
The redaction tools are unlike the ones you are, have been used to, the Adobe ones and whatnot. These are encrypted redactions. So we've gone through those steps. We've looked at it, you can look at it, but
Yeah.
I have not used it myself at this point because we really have been going through the redactions and typically we use a black marker in my office anyway.
Yeah, I've always found
Yeah.
this ends up being faster than the
Right,
systems
exactly.
that I've had my IT people try to
Yeah.
set different things up, none of them are efficient.
So
at all.
essentially, the only advantage to this system that we can use, and we don't have to use, is that we have means now that say we have a records request from an environmental company that wants to do a phase 1. We get these engineer requests all day long.
Request them all the time.
And we provide records that are public records, permits, things of this nature that have not needed redaction. And what happens now, sometimes we'll get multiple requests for the same records, so we'll have to do the same process each time. In this instance, going forward, whatever records that we've actually given to the public, that are public records, no redactions, no questions, at all on them, they're just basic, run-of-the-mill requests that we get at a certain extent of the day, which happen all day long, ordinances and whatnot. We would be able to then allow for them to be online, now available to other members of the public. But what the system does, by doing that, is now the next person who wants those records that have already been given out to someone else, they would start typing in their request, and they would get a pop-up that says, these records are already available. You don't have to complete the record request process and wait for your records. You can click on this link, and it'll take you right to the records.
So this is not just an internal workflow management?
It doesn't have to be. It can be
And the problem
interactive to
is
the
my
public
question.
and allow for more transparency.
That's where I have a little bit more
Right.
of an issue that Brian, I think,
My
needs to...
my other concern is that we're creating more records.
I was just gonna say that.
So then if somebody files a records request, and and this happens all the time with emails, or we have because we have to give specifically what they ask for, regardless of, I could have 30 of the same emails going between 10 different people, but yet we still have to provide, then it's like those 10 emails or 30 emails end up being 3,000 pages of documents, even though they're the same thing over and over and over again,
Right.
because let's say each one of us was on an email, that request, we have to give all those emails that came from everybody's email box, and it gets to be, and you're like 3,000 pages on what they're really.
But I don't think you're
emails.
understanding
So-
what the intent is not for those types of emails.
But what I'm saying is the problem is we're creating, and the concern I have, I should say the problem, now I gotta understand it more. But we're creating more, so let's say somebody doesn't want to use the system, which some people won't.
No,
and-
that's right. They
And
don't
a
have
lot
to.
of the people that request records, want to do everything the old-fashioned way.
That's actually not
And-
true,
and-
because we do get a lot through our system, our website.
Some people do, but
Some people,
anyhow,
yes.
they're gonna request records, they say all records with, whatever terms between such and such dates. Now, any of the records that are on here, we're gonna have to produce in whatever form they request to, if they request a specific form. That'd just be my concern, that we're just creating more records
But-
that, I know they already exist, but we're duplicating them.
Why don't we set up a meeting
Yeah.
and do a trial, like a
Yeah, I would like to see how it works.
demonstration?
The only other question is the cost. The choices are free.
No, it's not. It's $6,000 a year.
6,000?
So it's like a software license or whatever.
No, it's a maintenance cost.
Can I ask one more question? Is that, if someone was to use the portal, does that prevent anonymity now? If you're going to use the system? Because I've seen when people do no one request.
Yes, that's true.
So
That's
if
the
you-
law.
Right, but I'm saying, if you were to do this, say from your own computer, is that anonymous factor taken away now because
No.
it'll be an email? What? No?
No,
How do they?
Go for the public.
they can do.
No, I mean the person
Oh, the person.
asking for it. Like, I can't.
Well, whatever information they,
Right.
so we get the
Is
no one
that-
request, they create some bogus email.
Right, they can assign any email they
Yeah.
want, and they don't have, it's not mandatory that they enter those fields with their
Phone
identities.
number. or
Mhm, Got
whatever.
it. Got it. It's in total compliance with the overlay. And the portion of it that we could use for the public, we don't have to.
I was just going to ask, could it
Yeah.
also just be used for workflow and internal
Absolutely.
management versus if
That's kind
Brian
of what
has
we're
the
testing it
concern?
right now
Yeah.
for that purpose.
But you're also creating, you're still creating more records, so it could be, people could get the.
I'm not
So
sure
why don't
how
we-
you consider that to be creating more records when we already create them in-house.
No, they're there, but it's just duplicate records.
They're
It's just-
duplicated
yeah.
in the system
They're
now, in the
duplicating
email.
them, yeah.
Yeah, the difference is it
They're
keeps
outside
them
the
in,
email
it keeps them in a
system.
format now where they're easily accessible when they're asked for
Right.
multiple times. I think that's the main.
Yeah, there are
main
things that,
benefit.
like, there are requests that are repetitive. They're not always identical though, but they're repetitive.
Certain
requests
things, like
that,
how you was talking about for the environmental things, the sites that have oil, gas stations, cleanup thing, those are pretty much the same every time somebody asks.
If they're a particular address.
Yeah, particular block and lot, so that report will be on record. So for certain
Yeah.
very mundane things,
Like, we have an
It could
Exxon
be-
station in town
Yeah,
that we get requests
constantly.
all day long about, the contamination or whatnot records that are.
they're all getting the same
back.
record.
And they all get the same records. We pull them back out, and we just do the same thing and again and again.
Really, that's what we have to do, is decide how we're gonna manage it.
Yeah.
So we'll set up a meeting.
That's interesting. Yeah. Thanks.
And so now we have.
Okay, Mr. Sessions.
Have nothing this evening, Mayor, thank you. Aside from welcoming our guests from the Boy Scouts here, I have no other comment this evening.
There are more you guys. Mr. Perry.
Just extending warm welcomes to all the Boy Scouts here.
Same. Thank you, Mayor.
I'm enjoying that.
We have public comments.
Yes, Mary.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm not usually nervous. I'm a little nervous with the Boy Scouts in the room. All right, I'll come over. I'll stand over here. I'll look at you. Maybe it won't make me so nervous.
Mary, just one thing, in fact, you just kind of reminded me.
Name and
Anyone who
address?
speaks, give the name and address, and please keep your comments to 5 minutes.
Okay. My name is Mary Grant. I live at 135 Lindy Lane in Lincroft, and welcome Boy Scouts. I am here on behalf of the Lincroft Village Green Association. I know Melanie and Elmiger and Abe Littenberg have been here to thank you for the collaboration efforts for the project over at the Green, putting in the well. It's almost finished. I got an update today that said someone from DPW would be there to do the outline for the trench.
Right.
And then with the cooperation of the school board,
Yes,
the electrical will be put in
shared
soon.
service to the school board, we're going to install the electric line to the pump.
Next week, right?
Yep. So,
On the books, official?
I don't want to give you the tight schedule, but yeah, I think that's the plan.
Okay, as long as the weather, it doesn't snow or.
Yeah, cross your fingers.
Yeah. Don't put that out there.
Say that
Based
again.
on today's weather, probably won't be snow. And then I just wanted to clarify the fencing. Is that going to be staked out as well?
I will check on that, I'm not sure. I think we're going to do it all at one time.
Great, okay. All right, and then I also wanted to let you know that at the November meeting that the LOVGA had, our board voted to continue with the next phase of the irrigation project, which is putting the sprinkler system in. So we had invited the owner of Garden Irrigation, whose name is Greg Rogers, to come to our meeting and kind of go over the costs and how we can do it in phases, and if we have it done before the spring season really hits, when he gets really busy, we can save some money on our end. So of course, that was one of the reasons why we needed to make sure the electrical was finished, because we need the electricity to get the well running and the sprinkler running. I do have a Google Maps, just in case, I don't know, I know Jerry's been at the Green, but this is like an overview. So basically this circle, the big circle that's inside the sidewalk, is part of the first phase where the sprinklers would be put in. And then up in this section where there's a lot of trees there, that we call that the raised bed section. And we'd like to have the sprinklers put in there as well. Not necessarily a roadblock, but one of the questions that we had for Greg and that we need to clarify with the township is if there are any plants that are dead or not looking so great, or plants that just aren't fitting in with maybe a plan that we have, we would like to collaborate with you again and figure out where to put the bushes. Maybe it's fine. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of sprinkler system, installation planning, so there might not be a problem at all. But definitely to make this green space, that'll be the first phase, and then up in here. Another plan that we have is maybe, because it looks like grass now, but it's really the only crabgrass that has grown in over the years because the mulching kind of just everybody got behind on the mulching. So we're kind of thinking we like the idea of just maybe some grass there anyway and open it up a little bit, because believe it or not, even though the Green has been there for almost 15 years, there are a lot of people who race by on 520 and don't even see it. So we thought, maybe if we opened it up a little bit by moving some of the plants that are 15 years old, they're looking tired, they're overgrown, maybe then we could make it a more welcoming place for everyone in the community. So I'm sure I'll probably be in touch with you, and I understand, is it Victor, who is the
Yeah,
landscape
Victor Wines is
architect?
He's a landscape architect in our office. This is right up his alley, he's an expert in it. So
Okay.
probably have him come in and meet with him, and have your irrigation contractor come meet with him.
Okay,
Any planning you want to do, he'll sit down and do all of it.
Right.
Sure.
One of the things to keep in mind with the irrigation system, though, is it'll have to be winterized
right,
every year, so.
yes. That, and that's, we know that's our responsibility, and we're already fundraising for that. So do you have any questions for me about
No, good.
the
Good
plan?
collaboration.
And then just, right, about 2 hours before the meeting started, I got a call from a Lincroft mother who has a Boy Scout who is looking to earn his Eagle ranking. And I used to babysit for him, and he had come to the Clean the Green a couple of different times. And so when asked by his parents, you know, you've got different ideas that have been suggested to you, what would you like to do? And he said,
plant grass, right?
I would like to do something at the green. And so she called me and I said, well, it's very apropos because we're in the middle of doing this beautification project. And she said, and I know her husband, who is very handy, she said, dream big, Mary. So we're gonna dream big.
Okay, Mary, thank you very much.
You bet.
Thanks. Say hi to everybody for us. Okay, is there anybody else who would like to speak? Sir?
Hi, my name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive, and I was talking to Ted before the meeting about the garbage carts that are being distributed, and my next door neighbor is in a mother-daughter situation. I don't know, how does the township figure out which houses are mother-daughters? You know, my neighbor's got triplets over there too, and they generate a lot of refuse, let me tell you. And one set of cans is not going to be enough for this family. And since it is a mother-daughter, I believe that they should be entitled to another set. But, you know,
We actually talked about this today. So there are probably, I think we have about 300 official, 200 to 300 official mother-daughter homes around town. So they will each get a second set of cans for, if it's a dwelling unit, which mother-daughter counts technically 2 dwelling units, they'll get
yeah, they
a
have
second
2
set of
driveways
cans.
and everything,
Yeah.
but, you know,
We have a lot more than people realize, and they will
Right.
get a second can. And the ones they know about already have, but some of them it's hard to tell, so they
Right.
haven't. So we're getting the tax assessor to give us a list of all the ones we have.
Okay.
So they'll all get 2. And for those who don't think that the 1 can is enough, we're recommending that people give it a try for a couple weeks.
it's a big cart.
It's a big cart, and you really have to produce a lot of stuff. But if it's really not enough, we did introduce an ordinance tonight, which we hopefully will act on next week, at next meeting, where you can purchase an additional cart
Right.
for a fixed fee that will pay for your 5 years worth.
So if their house is not designated as a mother-daughter, will they have to pay that extra fee?
Yes, to get an extra cart. Yeah. A mother-daughter won't have to pay anything. Each unit will get two
Right.
carts. But
Okay.
people who just don't think that they can live with one,
Mhm.
they'll have to pay for an extra cart.
Storing them is going to be a bigger problem than living with them.
Yeah, it depends on the property, but
Yeah.
They gotta do it now, I mean.
Yeah, it's now or never, right?
No, but I mean, there's existing garbage, whatever they do, I mean.
realistically, it seems like, if anything, recycling might become a bit of a challenge, if anything, but garbage, if you're producing more than that twice a week, that's a lot of
200
garbage.
gallons a week
You know,
almost.
that's-
Yeah,
that's a
I might
lot.
put it out at the curb like once every 2 months.
Yeah,
I'll have to
right.
do
I
it
just-
too now.
Generate a bag of garbage
Well, and also,
every 2
people who
weeks.
think that, people who generate that much garbage, there's a good chance they're not recycling very well,
Yeah,
so.
well, if you got 3-year-old triplets, you know, it's a different story.
Yeah, that
Most
might,
stuff you can't recycle when you have to
Right.
pay your.
Yeah. All right,
you don't get an exemption.
thank you very much.
Okay, is there anybody else who would like to speak? Okay, seeing no further members of the public come forward, move to close the public portion and move for adjournment.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore. Yes. Committeeman Terry.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murray. Yes. Mayor Sharkey.
Yes.
Motion carried to adjourn.
Thank you for having us.
Not quite a regular.